6 o'clock. We're going to have the invocation by Commissioner Brandt, then join us for the pledge.
Please stand. Father God, we love you. We thank you for this day. Father, we thank you for blessing us with this storm and no damage perceivable damage to anyone and no loss of life. Father, be with us this evening as we go about doing the business of Camden County. Give us the wisdom and guidance needed to make the decisions that benefit all of Camden County. And Father, just continue to bless those that serve, whether it be here or abroad. For this we pray in your most glorious and heavenly name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, Katie.
Commissioner Goodman is running just a little bit late, but he should be arriving shortly.
Okay. All right. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, sir, there is the removal of the presentation for the NACO Achievement Award. That will actually be featured on the August 20th agenda.
Okay. All right, can we get a motion to adopt the amended agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Agenda is passed. This brings us to the approval of the minutes. If there's no changes to the minutes from the June 18th regular meeting and the June 16th regular meeting, can I get a motion to accept these minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes, Mr. Chairman, as presented.
Second.
All right, we got a first and second to accept the minutes. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, the presentations was removed, so this brings us to the first public comment section of the night. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes and agenda items only. Anybody registered?
Yes, Dr. Dawn Gray.
I want to speak to we're really excited that you guys are being, thoughtful and looking at the parks, but I would ask that you guys take a look at sport and I think you're supposed to turn this on. Did I get my timer started?
Go ahead. I'll give you a little extra.
So that you guys take a look at the sport funds that are available. Our neighbors up in Glenn County have received money in excess of over, I believe it's $28 million since 2015 with regards to money that's been set aside by Governor Kemp specifically for outdoor recreational facilities. Therefore, we would be able to have money that would be able to be spent or allocated elsewhere. All right, and I'll hold the next one for open comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else register?
Mr. Ricky Manning.
I'll have to wait till the end and let never add to the agenda.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody wish to speak before the board on an agenda item? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. All right, this time we need a motion to adjourn the special called meeting and convene a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we got a first and second to convene a public hearing. All in favor? All right, Joey, lead us off.
Thank you, Chairman, and good evening, Commissioners. Tonight, we have a request to rezone 19.4 acres from agricultural forestry to agricultural residential. This parcel currently carries a future land use of rural residential as well. It is located in District 1 at 611 Old Jefferson Highway. Scott, can you advance that? This is an aerial view of the parcel, which is located just off of Highway 17 on Old Jefferson Highway. Next slide, please, Scott. This is an aerial view of the surrounding zonings. As you can see, most of the green is zoned AF with a couple of parcels, 2 or 3 parcels zoned AR with industrial across Highway 17 or on Highway 17. Now, the owner is requesting this rezone in order to subdivide the property and have smaller setbacks. So therefore, Planning Commission recommends approval of this rezone.
Okay, anybody from the public wish to speak in favor of this item? Anybody wish to speak in opposition? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. All right, next item, Joey.
That's all the items I had tonight. Now, Nancy has one, I believe. No, it's not, I'm sorry. No, I have no more.
Okay. Well, who's doing the hotel motel?
I can do it, Chairman. So the second public hearing is to hear for amending the official code of Camden County, Part 1, related laws, Article 8, hotel motel taxation, and this is to increase the unincorporated hotel motel tax rate from 5% to 6%.
Okay. Anybody from the public wish to speak in favor of this item? Anybody wish to speak in opposition? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Now we need a motion to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the special call meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we've got a first and second to reconvene the special call meeting. All in favor? Okay, you're up again, Joey.
Thank you, Chairman. We have a request to rezone 19.4 acres from agricultural forestry to agricultural residential. This property is located in District 1 at 611 Old Jefferson Highway. Planning Commission recommends approval of this item.
Can I get a motion to adopt this, or motion on this item?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right, we got a first and second. Any discussion?
I have a question. Was there any opposition whatsoever? Any opposition to this whatsoever, Joey?
No, sir, there were not.
I didn't think so. Okay, thank you.
All right, we got a first and second. All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, item number 2, Nancy, this is you.
Yes, sir. Good evening. This agenda item are budget amendments to the fiscal year '24 and '25 budgets. Solid Waste had rented a bulldozer for January, February, and March of 2024. And in April, the board approved the purchase of it, but it was budgeted in the fiscal year '25 budget because of a deferred payment on it. But it really needs to be recognized in fiscal year '24 because that's when we took possession of it. So what I'm doing is just moving the approved budget from fiscal year '25 back to fiscal year '24 so that we can make the payment and expense it to the correct year.
Okay. Can I get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second, Chairman.
Well, we got a first and second to approve the budget amendments. Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Motion carries. All right, this brings us to item number 3, right-of-way acquisition.
Sorry, guys. Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight before you, you have an agreement for the approval of the right-of-way acquisition agreement from the Georgia Department of Transportation for State Project 0015396. It's a pedestrian and bicycle facilities improvement project at 3 different locations at Boone Street, May Creek Drive, and Keith Dixon Way. The LAP project, locally administrated project, was formally submitted by the City of Kingsland and received approval by the State of Georgia on April 7th of 2021. Camden County Board of Commissioners is the sole LAP certified local government in Camden County and is required to facilitate this right-of-way acquisition agreement on behalf of the City of Kingsland. So the state will be supplying, the total project is $820,000. The state will be supplying $656,000, and the required match for the city of Kingsland will be $164,000. So tonight, we're looking for your consideration to approve the agreement.
All right. Can I get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve.
I'll
Second.
it. We got first and second. I agree that Kingsland needs more sidewalks, sir. This is not a problem. Any other discussion?
This is basically, this is a flow through, right?
Pass through.
Yeah.
That is correct.
All right. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, next item.
Next up is consider the acceptance of a competitive bid pricing for the purchase of bulk aggregate materials from Garmin Trucking. The county went out to bid, received 3 bids. Garmin Trucking was the only bidder that met all requirements and met all qualifications. As you guys may know, aggregate materials are utilized to maintain road and improve the quality of unpaved roads throughout the county. Funding for this purchase is included in the Department of Public Works annual operating budget. We use these aggregates to repair low, soft areas, increase compaction, and improve maintenance effectiveness. The DPW maintains a stockpile of aggregate materials for the unpaved road system and is used on an as-needed basis. It also comes in during the critical times of hurricane season to quickly build back roads devastated by heavy rains. Just for reference, we've already used over 200 tons of materials this week alone to repair the roads from the tropical storm. So the motion, we're looking for a motion to approve the acceptance of the competitive bid pricing for the purchase of bulk aggregate materials from Garmin Trucking.
All right, can I get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
We have a second?
Second.
First and second to approve the aggregate. Any discussion? Kind of ironic timing to do this. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, item number 5.
So this agenda item is to purchase 2 compact vertical diesel light towers and 1 message sign trailer through a GEMA grant with some county match. The grant submission was approved by the board on May 7th of this year. And the quote from Millennium Products is for $44,992.83, and the pricing is the state GSA pricing. The grant will cover $20,000 of the purchase, and the match is $24,992.83, and is funded through a budgeted grant match line item in the fiscal year 25 budget. And the county currently has no light towers, and the county does have 6 larger message signs, which were also grant funded, but this is a smaller, more utility-based sign.
Okay, can I get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We go to first and second to approve the purchase of the compact vertical light towers and the message sign. Any discussion?
I have one thing, just food for thought, Mr. Chairman. The Dead Man's Curve, we've been trying to get a way to get people to slow down there. I'd like to see us at a later date to look at the digital readouts like the city of Kingsland has, city of St. Mary's has. I know every time I see one, I slow down. And I'd like for us to just put that in as food for thought, so for a later meeting.
All right, thank you. All right, we got a first, second, all in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. The next agenda item is the acceptance of the bid award for the Maple Ford Park enclosure. And staff does recommend award to B. James Construction, who was the sole bidder, with option 1, enclosure and residential windows, and that's in your agenda packet. Going with the residential option instead of the storefront window option provides a cost savings of $29,500. And the residential windows option will still provide for viewing around the entire perimeter of the facility, with the exception of where the kitchen is located, which is in the back central area of the building. And let's see, this would be the same storefront windows, but residential windows will be smaller. And B. James was the only bidder for this RFP, And we just wanted you to note that this is the second time that this went out to bid for the enclosure. And the first time it was put out to bid, we received several bids, but only one qualified bidder, which was B. James. And when it was put out to bid again, B. James was the only bidder, and they did lower their price substantially by $51,000. So, and the enclosure will be used as a voting precinct in future elections and as a community center for the community to utilize.
All right, can I get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve as presented, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
Yeah, one thing is basically, just so you know, you got the windows, you've got the flooring that's going to take place, the inside and out of the pavilion, kitchen renovation, kitchen doors to outside with the locks, 5-ton AC unit, ductwork and vents, and need a new well and well pump with associated plumbing, in addition to floodlights on the front of the building. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Okay, just, again, food for thought.
Yep. We got a first and second on that. All in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, this brings us to item number 7.
Mr. Chairman, I'll handle this. This is a professional services agreement for the retainage of legal services from Jackie Fortier. As you know, our existing county attorney, John Myers, he gave his written notice of, to terminate his service as county attorney effective September 1st, 2024. We began the initial search for a county attorney back in late January of this year, and had left the position posted for probably 6 months. And that was really to try to seek a full-time county attorney at that time. Very difficult to try to recruit for that level in Camden County, as we found out in talking to several different people, and had one candidate potential, but that person actually ended up taking another position elsewhere. So started seeking other options, and fortunately, Ms. Fortier was able to reach out to us and express her interest. We held individual meetings with commissioners, and really just allowed her to have some time to speak with each and every one of you. The existing contract has actually really stayed the same. There's no material changes. There's no dollar changes. It's ideally the same exact contract that we actually have right now with John. So the term with that would begin, if approved tonight, on August 15th and end on June 30th, 2026. So with that, I'll leave it for you all, but we recommend approval.
Okay, can you get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve the professional service agreement as stated, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
I've got a little bit I'd like to discuss, and nothing against certainly the individual that's interviewed for this position. I've been struggling with the compromise of the structure of this agreement, looking in terms of how some other county governments and municipalities have structured their contracts. It's typically, with the firm over an individual, and I think there's a lot of advantages to that. Looking at it from a team approach versus an individual capacity. I think with looking at some of the other municipalities around here, they share a firm that's out of Brunswick. So I don't know, I just looking at the compromise of how it's been in the past. Up until 3 weeks ago, I was still thinking we were, interviewing and looking for the full-time person. I understand that's kind of a niche and hard thing to find with individuals. And, looking at it now, I don't know, it just seems like there are firms out there that specialize in representing government, municipality and county governments. So.
Any other discussion? All right. Those in favor of the hire? Those opposed? Welcome aboard, Jackie. All right, item number 8. Who's doing that?
I'll do that also, Mr. Chairman. So, as you recall, some time ago, we approved the St. Mary's Tax Allocation District TAD 3. St. Mary's has created a TAD 3 advisory board, and as part of their policies and procedures for TAD 3 and creating that advisory board, they have actually, the total board shall consist of 5 board seats. One of those seats will be held by the city manager for St. Mary's, another one held by the City of St. Mary's Community Development Department Director, and then 2 seats will be appointed by St. Mary's City Council and Mayor, with, those appointees having somewhat of a background in either finance, public works, or economic development. And finally, 1 representative of Camden County government appointed by the chairperson of the Camden County Commissioners. And with that, I would like to make recommend Joey Yakabachi, our Planning and Development Director, to serve on this board as our representative.
Sounds like it's up to me to appoint him. Joy, you're it. All right, item number 9.
Mr. Chairman, I'll do this one as well. So this is to waive the second reading of the amendments to the official code of Camden County, Part 1, Related Laws, Article 8, for the hotel motel taxation by resolution. This is an excise tax revenue that shall be collected and allocated in accordance with the requirements of OCGA 48-13-51B, hereunder in an amount equal to not less than 50% of the total amount of taxes collected that exceeds the amount of taxes that would be collected at the rate of 5% shall be expended for promoting tourism, conventions, and trade shows, and said allocation shall not go into the general funds of Camden County. The purpose of this ordinance is to enact an excise tax upon the furnishing for value to the public of any room or rooms, lodgings, or accommodations facilitated or furnished by an innkeeper, and the rate shall go from 5% to 6% with an effective date of October 1st, 2024. With that, staff recommends approval. And if you will recall, we've been working on this for almost a couple of years now. We had to go through the General Assembly for them to allow us to be able to do that. So staff recommends approval.
All right, can I get a motion on this item?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on hotel motel tax? Hearing none. All in favor? Motion carries. Yes, sir.
I'd like to make apologies for being late. Today was first day of school, and little Carter got put on my bus and could not understand why I didn't know where he lived. So I apologize. I'm sorry?
What grade are you in?
What grade am I in? I was asked that by a kid. I told him I was in grade 76. So I apologize for being late. I missed the opportunity to ask for something to be added to the agenda. I simply ask, because I obligated myself to do this, that the county administrator give a brief report on the gun range modifications. And again, I apologize for being late. Thank you.
Well, we're adding the installation to the pistol canopy. Other than that, that's it. That's all we're doing. So,
And just to answer Commissioner Goodman's question, they actually started on that yesterday, Wednesday. They were supposed to start Monday, but Hurricane Tropical Storm Debbie actually stalled their start date.
How much of it is being affected? Is it the long guns or the pistols, or?
It would be any pistol caliber, so it'd be up under the pistol range canopy, which is the larger canopy, right there when you first come into the venue.
Okay,
The rifle range canopy's already done.
very good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
all right, this brings us to the final public comment section of the night. You'll be limited to 3 minutes. Any registered speakers?
First is Odie Holland.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Carl Holland. This is my wife, Odie, and we reside at 133 Delwood Place in St. Mary's, Georgia. We appreciate this opportunity to address you. We are the founders of Ravens of Elijah Food Ministries in Kingsland, Georgia. And we are a local, homegrown, grassroots charity organization right here in Camden County. You were all emailed a document earlier today by the county clerk on our behalf, describing in more detail what we do. And to summarize, we started out of our home in 2009, serving less than 50 families, to now having a rented facility, 3 box trucks to transport well over 10,000 pounds of food each week, and serving over 900 households every week. Specifically, our programs serve through our general food distribution Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 500 families. Our homeless program serves 96 individuals. The Backpack Buddies program serves 149 school children. We have 102 elderly and disabled shut-in individuals that can't come to us that we deliver to. And we also operate a food giveaway on Kings Bay Naval Base for junior enlisted personnel that serves about 95 families there. And I would also like to point out that we are also a designated first responder organization with the Camden County Emergency Management Agency, and we were honored to receive a certificate of appreciation for Hurricane Irma relief efforts right here in these very chambers. And as part of our growth, more equipment was needed to move large pallets of food. And we purchased a pallet stacker, which is basically a light-duty walk-behind forklift with outriggers that straddle a pallet to keep it stable. But it does have its limitations. A few months ago, our pallet stacker broke down. It took several weeks for parts to come in to repair it, and since it was our only means of getting pallets off the trucks, we rented a forklift from Florida Forklift to help keep us operating. The forklift proved itself invaluable in increasing the efficiency of our operation and enhancing the safety of our volunteers. And our budget does not allow for us to have paid workers unloading and sorting food and the other work that has to be done, so we have to rely on volunteer effort. We have a great group of 45 volunteers, many of whom are here tonight in support. But unfortunately, many of our volunteers are older, retired, or disabled, limiting the amount of physical labor that they can exert. Most younger and more able-bodied people are either working and not available or simply don't have a desire to do volunteer work. Our wonderful volunteers step up to the plate and do what they can to give back to help those in need in our community every week. As the needs for our services continue to grow in these challenging economic times, the amount of food we handle continues to increase. A forklift will become even more vitally important. We are asking you, our county commissioners, to grant us the amount of $25,000 for the purchase of a forklift. By awarding this grant for the single purchase, you can have a part in providing a safer and healthier work environment for our volunteers, enhance our services to the less fortunate in our community that we are all a part of, and to help give back to the community that's chosen you as our elected representatives. Again, we thank you for the opportunity to present this, and may my wife give you an estimate for the forklift?
Yes,
Again, thank you very much for the opportunity.
thank you. All right, anybody else registered, Katie?
Sir. The next is Mr. T.J. Cheek.
Good evening. I'm T.J. Cheek. I live on Hainer Road in Waverly, and I won't take up much of your time. I've spoken through the chain of command about this fairly thoroughly in regard to the safety and condition of Hainer Road. I'll qualify this with saying that I willingly and knowingly built my house on a dirt road, and I don't expect it to be anything else other than a dirt road. But around the first of the year, the road was topped with river dredge that was pulled from the bottom of a saltwater river that contains shark teeth, seashells, and I have no idea what else, but I would assume salt. We gave it a fair chance, and it hasn't been good. My wife's car's been in the shop several times, once because when this stuff gets wet, It gets sloppy, it turns into a slurry. It finds its way into everywhere that dirt would find its way, but when it doesn't find its way out like dirt was, it dries like concrete. The liner under her car was pulled down to the ground from the weight of this stuff because it doesn't wash out. It dries and stays there while her car's parked at work. Then we heard a rattle in the back of her car. Had to have the back hatch taken apart where we found seashells inside of the actual door itself. My mother blew a tire because it contains large rocks that when we grade the road stay on top of the road. She hit one of those rocks, blew a brand new tire. My truck has had to go in and out of the shop multiple times. There's a couple of young mothers that live down the road that have children younger than 4, and they've had to call me during the day and say, I'm on the side of the road, my car is shaking so bad I don't think it's safe to drive. And the only way to solve that problem is to get under the car and manually scrape and beat and pull all of that material out of the wheel. It throws the wheels out of balance to the point that the car shakes violently going down the road. Once again today, right before this, I had to go get my wife from the shop. 2 of her tires are damaged again and deemed unsafe to drive. So now I'm going to drop her off at her work at 6:30 in the morning. Not only that, we have an elderly population that would need emergency services that live close to 2 miles away from the nearest pavement. And right now, I've got the hunting club gates unlocked, and that is the way that we're using to get to our homes. We're driving down timber roads because they're infinitely better than the county road that we live on. And if it wasn't for an old wooden trestle that the ambulance would have to cross, I would say to direct emergency services to use that route to get to us. But I don't think it would hold up to the weight of an ambulance or a fire truck with 1,000 gallons of water in it. So, as I said, I have brought this up repeatedly with the road department over the year, but I'm at the point that I'm asking y'all to give this some extra attention, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I discuss this. Mr. Chief. Mr. Chief, I did bring that to our county administrator and our chairman's attention today, and it's being looked into.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anybody else, Katie?
Just one second. Ms. Dawn Gray.
First of all, thank you, Commissioner Reddick, for your intentional looking at, something that could present a challenge later for our community. The proposed DJ David Mills Memorial Park would be a facility-based site of passive recreation. We've been asked to create an agenda, a presentation. To date, it has not been scheduled for when we would be able to present that. But I'm concerned that there's conversation that there have been decisions that have been made, not in the public arena, and that there are activities that continue to exist with regards to that area that is known as the soccer complex and the miniature golf park. As a pre-existing structure, that golf park is not subject to the Department of Justice mandates associated with Architectural and Transportation Barriers Compliance Board and remains in compliance with Title II of the Americans with Disability Act. As a result of the park being owned by you, the county commissioners, there is no risk, there is no liability. That liability is removed under the Recreation Property Act, OCGA 51-3-20, and was clarified in the Mayor and Alderman of Garden City versus Harris, which provides immunity to the county and the taxpayers related to the premises liability and the strict duty of care. Further, the allowance of a 501c3 nonprofit organization to continue cleaning it up doesn't put you in liability in much the same way that allowing an entity whose charitable designation was revoked in 2010 that has complete control over the soccer complex does put you in liability. Once again, I'm concerned that there may be violations of the Open Meetings Act 50-14-1. When it is found, the burden is not on us to prove whether or not that there have been violations. But looking through records with regards to the meetings that have been held here and the agendas, it is difficult to find any consistent decision-making that has occurred. The Georgia Supreme Court has ruled, I think it's important to note, that the Open Meetings Act does also extend to emails that have been taken. It might be okay for you guys to take votes by email, or in the wording of some of our county officials, that they're just given a nod. But for us as taxpayers, that's not enough. Please understand that we're not trying to create issues, but we do want to be able to follow the rules, and then to also ask that you guys do the same. Thank you.
Anybody else registered?
Mr. Ricky Manning?
Rick Manning from Bullhead. I'm not going to sit up here and read all these codes and ordinances that y'all are still violating out there at that gun range. You know you're doing it. You know you're breaking the laws, yet you continue to. Anyway, the original range study that was used for this grant approval and the commissioner approval is still the same one that y'all approved. It's still filled with false, misleading, and missing information. This has been said before. There's lies in it, and you know it, yet you still continue to run it. I am happy to see that the board is trying to move forward with noise abatement, but once again, we sit here and we're allowing the same persons that created the problem trying to get the job done. As I know I will not ever receive an answer here, so I will put in an open records request for the data on the $120,000 project that has just been approved and just got started. That will not come close to solving the problem. Even according to the administrator himself, who was the project lead over this range from day one, and I'll quote, "We did want to add the acoustics there. We just didn't have the funds available at the time," Boatwright said. "I do think the patrons of the facility would enjoy it. It will cut down on the concussion or reverberation of some of the noise a little bit under the canopy, so it would improve the user experience." We're not out to improve the user experience here, folks. We're breaking the laws, we're breaking the noise codes. So if it's not helping, because nobody will give me no answer, so are we going to abate some of the noise leaving the range, or are we doing this for the patrons? Because my research says at the most it might cut 2 decibels leaving that range. It's not going to work. My wife come outside Saturday morning while I'm out on my porch, because I had to turn the radio on so I wouldn't hear it while I'm doing my Bible study on my porch at 9:30 in the morning Saturday, wanting to know what I was beating on. Because once again, those big high-powered cannon rifles y'all firing out there were echoing inside of my house, inside. She wanted to know what I was beating on. I'm having to sit on my porch and turn the radio on at times. This is ridiculous, folks. Now, I'm glad y'all even looking at it, but you know you're not solving the problem. You've been given stuff, you know you have, and you haven't researched. You're once again letting somebody hornswoggle you into putting stuff out there that's not solving the problem. At least we're looking at it. But you know, this has been going on entirely too long. How long have I got to sit out here after 2 years complaining that I'm still going to sit there for another 2 years listening to this? It's ridiculous, and you know it. You've been through this, Mr. Chairman. It's no fun sitting out there. It's no fun having to chase my dog when he goes outside and all of a sudden one of them cannons let off over there and he runs through the woods. Even on medication, that's costing me $52 a month now instead of $46. You know, I do have inflation. But anyways, that's where we're sitting, and I'm not going to leave it alone. You know I'm not. I've got the paperwork drawn up now, and it's fixed to get sent to all the district and the states, and we're going to do something because you're breaking laws. Thank you.
Robert Bauer?
Got to get the old bones moving. Bauer, Parrott's Bluff. First of all and foremost, I want to apologize for the coins that turned up yesterday. Kind of like ticked a bunch of people off, but you can't turn down American money when they come to pay their bill. I want to ask my representative over here one question, and it's a yes or no answer. Did you notify Mr. Lake at goings-on the July 16th meeting Did you advise him? Yes or no?
Advise him?
Yeah, of the meeting and what was going on with the soccer field and all?
I don't even know what you're talking about. July 16th?
Yeah, that was the meeting last week.
Did I advise him? I may have told him there was a meeting going on. I tell
And
him.
you didn't tell him anything about what was going on with the soccer field, right? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Your nose will grow, partner, because I've got good information on it, and supposedly you told the man to get his records together and be at that meeting. So if you're going to play them kind of games, play both sides. Don't just play one. And if I hear any more, I'll call you out on it.
Thank you.
And do you remember saying, we need town hall meetings, learn to listen to the constituents? Do you remember that? Okay, stick by it. Now the putt-putt golf course. It is near finished being cleaned up, but with a little bit of elbow grease, can be in terrific shape. But 4 of y'all want to tear it down so that children who would like to play putt-putt don't get that same opportunity as the soccer people. Furthermore, since I've lived here in Camden County, everything in this is going downhill, and I've lived here 5 years. The drainage was good, the roads were good, the ditches were clean, and now all of a sudden we got grass about this deep in the ditches. My brain just flipped out on me. Sorry about that. But the ductwork going under the roads is plugged up tighter than Dick's hat band. The water can't even get through, and there went from yellow to green and red and all that good stuff. See you. I can tell you what to do with that light, but you wouldn't agree with it.
All right, anybody else? Katie?
Not registered, sir.
Anybody else wish to speak for the public? Come on up, Jim.
Good evening, gentlemen. First of all, I would like to say, I was present at a meeting today where Chuck White was the presenter. And I want to give phenomenal kudos to this gentleman with the Emergency Agency, Management Agency in Camden County. I would encourage you to please have him speak to multiple groups throughout the county so they know exactly what he does. Not a part-time guy, that's for sure. And I thank you very much for his services. Number 2, I would like to, today I had opportunity to be at the county library once again. First of all, please, I hope that you will consider paving that road on the perimeter of the county library. There's some potholes and that sort of thing. You're getting ready for some very heavy traffic very soon. I hope heavy traffic. So I hope that you will reconsider that. Also, the county library. I've approached 2 or 3 of you guys. There's a meeting room in the county public library that we used to be able to have multiple meetings, and it is now filled with storage. And I'm asking you to please, we don't have that many public meeting areas in Camden County that we can utilize, and I'm asking you to please reconsider having that room emptied and cleaned up so that we can use it. So, anyhow. A third thought, I may move now to Maple Ford. I'm so excited about Maple Ford and what you're doing for them. I would hope that you would consider doing the same for Harriet's Bluff. Thank you so.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for the board? Come on up, John.
I'm John Wojcik. Live on Peoples Road, District 5. It's about recycling. My wife and I bought a container that had recycling written on the side of it, same blue one as what the county or the service provides us. We got it yesterday from Amazon. Looks like the same one as we use all the time in the county. And we believe in recycling. And a lot of times that our little bin overruns, especially we have to put it out the night before because they come early in the morning. And at times we've had plastic bottles blow out of it because of the winds. So we purchased this and got it yesterday. I loaded it up and put it out last night. And the recycling people took it. They recycled it. We paid 40 some odd dollars, and we could have donated to Elijah if we knew we were going to dump it. But anyway, I called to find out why. It had recycling on the side of it. It just didn't have the phone number or whatever's provided by our service provider. I called the people down in Callahan, I assume where they are. They told me call the county. I called the county, and I think her name was Renee. And I told her the situation. And she said, if you don't use that particular one with their address and everything on it, it's recycled, it's gone. I said, what do I do with the extra stuff that we get? Because we order from Amazon and stuff like that. We get cardboard. And we drink a lot of bottled water. My wife does a lot of cooking, open up cans, and we all recycle this. And I said, what do we do if we have too much? She said, either wait until the next cycle time, which is a week later, or put it in a trash can. Now, I thought we were doing pretty good by buying that container ourselves to help with this recycling program. But if it's going to have an alternative of putting it in the trash, how does that make us feel about recycling? If we overdo the little container, go ahead and put it in the trash can. Why not do away with recycling, period? I don't know if recycling is doing that good in District 5 or wherever we're at. But I don't know what else to do. Thank you, Elijah, for what you do. I know we're supposed to talk to the committee, but have to talk to them. I know what they do, and it's really, I'm thankful for you guys. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else? We need to back up and calendar, Katie.
There's no changes to the calendar.
County Administrator comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple things. Congratulations, Jackie, on being appointed as the next county attorney for Camden County. Really looking forward to working with you. Also, Commissioners, we have hired Alex Harrelson, who was our facilities maintenance supervisor, as our new facilities maintenance director. If you'll recall, his father also worked for us in the same department. Alex has actually been with us in two different departments, starting out in fire rescue, and has gone over to facilities maintenance a couple of years ago and been with us there. So really proud of him and being able to promote from internally. Also with Tropical Storm Debbie, just a big thank you to all of our citizens, our past and even current elected officials, staff, religious organizations, the Salvation Army, Red Cross, several local businesses, as well as the Ravens of Elijah. Just thank everybody for your outpouring of support and volunteerism. It was just an amazing opportunity to kind of see everything working together. I think we really dodged a bullet. There was a call that we had received from the National Hurricane Center directly to this county, telling us that we could maybe expect anywhere from 20 to 30 inches of rain. So I think the fact that we really only received maybe 8 inches in some areas was very, very much a blessing, and we were just very thankful for that. I do want to let everybody know, though, if for those of you that were here during Hurricane Irma, or Tropical Storm Irma, actually, whenever it came across, we also had riverine flooding probably 3 to 4 days after that event. So We're still monitoring the roads. Jared's actually doing a really great job with his staff, and I would like to ask Jared, if you don't mind, coming up and just kind of talking about some of the work that we've had to do from the Public Works side of things and really just trying to maintain our roadways. Thank you.
Good evening again, Commissioners.
Like to do that, don't you?
I'm trying not to touch it. Good evening again, Commissioners. First off, I want to say I'm very proud of my Public Works staff and their performance through the Tropical Storm Debbie. This time around, we changed our operations to 24-hour emergency response operations. It kept us so we could stay ahead of culvert backups, down trees, and road washouts. During this time, 14 roads were underwater at some point during the event. We took care of 32 down trees off of the roadways. Again, like I said earlier, we trucked over 200 tons of roadbed material out to repair roads. We had 5 major road repairs. 2 to 3 roads we're continuing to monitor at this time for receding water, and we're monitoring anywhere from 5 to 7 roads right now for the river rise flooding that's following here after the storm. I personally worked exclusively with Superintendent Dr. Green of Camden County Schools on ensuring that all the bus route roads were ready for school this morning. And the confirmation I got from them this morning was that all buses were able to make their routes and pick up all the children. So great. My kids weren't happy about it. They wanted to be off till Monday. While a few bugs were worked out initially, Public Works adapted to the 24-hour operations quickly, and this response has greatly reduced the post-event recovery and restoration timeline. I feel that we're already going through our second phase of restoration and going through our initial grading of all the dirt roads throughout the county, so we can make a good effort pass through the entire county by the end of next week. I'm here for any questions.
Sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, now we need a motion to adjourn the special called meeting and convene an executive session for the purpose of discussion, litigation, and items exempt under OCGA 5014-3B4.
Second.
All in favor? We'll be back after this. Convene the special called meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a first and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Is there any action from the executive session?
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion to make. Motion to approve the purchase of software in the amount of $45,438.19.
Do we have a second? I'll second it. We already had our discussion. All those in favor? Motion carries. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
First and second to adjourn. All in favor? All right, thank y'all.